Shut up and sit down.
Namaste and namaskar, friends. I am Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And if you enjoy our videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell thing. That would be very kind of you indeed. And, you know, we've covered quite a lot of movies from India recently. However, what we've not focused on too much, to much of our viewers' unhappiness, is romance. And I'll be honest, that's because I'm not the biggest romance fan in the world. However, there is a big movie coming out very, very soon from India called Atrangi Re. It stars Dhanush and it stars Akshay Kumar. And I mean, Akshay Kumar, we have loved him in so much stuff. I mean, but I think for me, Kesari is probably just an incredible pinnacle of his acting. So anything that he's in, I'm willing to watch, apart from Phil Part 2. Come on, people. I still wake up screaming in the night about Phil Part 2. But anyway, apparently Atrangi Re is some kind of a complex, dramatic love triangle type of a romance movie. So, I don't know, this may be more your kind of thing than mine. But if you want to see what we think about it and whether I would be willing to watch it, then stick around until the end. But for now,
let's go.
Let's go.
इतने बड़े भारत में ढूंढ के यही सामान मिला तुम्हें? जाओ, बिटिया को लाओ।
रिंकू सूर्यवंशी नाम है माँ, सीधे राजा राम की डायनेस्टी से हैं। स्वयंवर होता है हमारे यहाँ, हम नहीं मानते जबरदस्ती के साथ।
Wow. Oh man.
2 days में मेरे एंगेजमेंट है, उसके बाद शादी। ये दोनों कौन होंगे? उन्हें इंतजार लगती है वैसे। गाली नहीं आ रहा है, तमिल में बोल रहा हूँ।
मतलब तुमको भी नहीं चाहिए शादी?
बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए मेरी माँ।
जो हुआ उसे भूल जाओ। माँ अपना बहुत पुराना चक्कर है। 21 बार भाग चुके इसके साथ विशु बाबू, हर बार पकड़े चले थे।
तुमने उतारा नहीं अब तक?
तुमने डाला है, तुम ही उतार लो।
ये लड़की, she's very dangerous, हाँ?
घबरा कह रहे हो बे? अरे छेड़ रहे हैं तुमको यार, और जब छेड़ रहे हैं तो छेड़ जाओ। आज पापा और सजाद के बाद तुम मिले हो, बस अच्छे आदमी हो गुरु।
चाहे कुछ कर लो बेटा, पर होई वही जो राम रची राखा।
Just stood on an elephant, you know.
Like Ravan, he wants me to go behind Hiran. And when the Maidan is up, he will come and uthao you and run away. But let me tell you, the Ramayana has just begun,
Oh my God.
डिवोर्स पेपर्स पे साइन करके क्यों नहीं चली जाती हो तुम?
पर हमको तुम भी अच्छे लगते हो।
She wants 2 birds, one in bush and one in hand. वरना तुम्हें खोना चाहती है, नहीं सजाद को खोना चाहती है।
एक बार एक लड़की को दोनों मिल जाएंगे तो क्या आफत आ जाएगी?
तो ये एक लड़की मेरी ही किस्मत में होनी थी।
साला गर्दा उड़ा दिया।
ब्लंडर हो गया हमसे। मम्मी कसम हम सोचे नहीं थे कि इतना बड़ा कांड हो जाएगा। हमारी तो जबरदस्ती से शादी हुई थी। आप तो हमको जानते भी नहीं थे, और यही तय हुआ था ना आपके और हमारे बीच की। दिल्ली पहुंच के आप अपने रास्ते।
So, Atrangi Re, the story of a very dangerous girl. What did you make of the trailer?
Oh, it looks amazing. I love how complex the storyline is, and I love how much agency she has. Because I think so often we've seen movies where the women are fairly passive. They just seem to kind of go along with family pressures, where she's just she knows her own mind and just kind of goes for it and is willing to kind of push boundaries and break tradition. And I really like how interesting a premise that is.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I guess for us coming from the West, like we've said before, we have lots of friends from India. So, I don't think Indian culture is completely alien. But I must say, the concept of not being able to choose your own spouse, I think, is probably the thing that Westerners find the most confusing about Indian culture. And I love it that that's explored in this movie from the woman's point of view. And and clearly she is trying to find her own way through this as well. I liked it what one of the characters said was she wants to have two birds, one in the hand and one in the bush, which is an old English saying, actually. But the idea that you want your cake and you want to eat it too. And that never typically works out too well. But who knows? Like, this really seems to be a movie that breaks boundaries and will hopefully actually teach, because this is on Disney Plus Hotstar as well, will hopefully teach a Western audience more about Indian culture that people do find confusing and difficult to understand. So yeah, I'm all in on this. I gotta say as well, I mean, Akshay Kumar, we've heard that in other movies, so movies like Suryavanshi and Kesari, he does a lot of his own stunts, and he's an older guy as well, despite looking great for his age. But I mean, the thing of walking on fire, and like I was even watching when he slid down the elephant's trunk holding the balloons, like clearly those balloons are not holding him up, and even that I was thinking that's kind of dangerous. But I mean, the guy is a megastar, so I'm really excited to see both his acting in this, but also the dance numbers look incredible as well. He almost seems to have this like devil type persona with the fire and everything. Really. And then the lead female actor's dancing, her dancing seems to really portray the kind of choices that she's in the middle of and trying to figure out which way to go. It actually does seem like a wonderful movie. Despite not being a drama or a romance fan, I think I would want to watch this just because there's so much packed in there. It seems such a dense storyline.
And I think visually it's very complex as well, because I mean, we often talk about the color palettes in movies. What I liked about this one was in different scenes, the outfits that you see and the colors kind of in the scene itself. There are some scenes that have very traditional, kind of rich, but fairly kind of earth tone muted colors, like we've seen previously. But then there are others, especially when the lead actor, when she's in the scene, there's lots of neons as well. And we've seen the rich fabrics like we've seen previously with all the embroidery and the embellishments. But it's interesting to see that contrast of the traditional colors against the neons as well. Even though it's traditional dress in both, it's interesting to see that kind of contrast.
Yeah. The other thing that struck me about the visual style is it looks like a real India. Like, it doesn't look like some kind of fantasy land from the past or futuristic thing or some stylized version of India. It just looks real, and it's kind of nice to see that. I think especially at a time when so many of us are desperate to travel and see new places, it's kind of nice to be able to see new places on the big screen or your TV, whichever you prefer. So, hey, well, thank you everyone who recommended we check out Atrangi Re. I'm kind of surprised, I honestly thought I was going to be, I don't know, it looks too romantic, but this looks great, so thank you. And thanks for watching, but that is all we got time for today, and we will be back as soon as we can, friends, on the next Dork Trailer Ambush.
Peace out, nerds.
Bye.
Shut up and sit down.